suspend the agenda speakers and move to non-agenda speakers. I'll call you two at a time. Would you please come up to the podiums? You have 3 minutes. Carl Mohammed, would you please come to the one? Terry McIntyre, please come to the other podium. Mr. Shaw.
Carl Mohammed, not here to do a complaint, but as a reminder, because I want to talk about some things that I know that you know that what I'm talking about and how serious it is and how we are not addressing it. And I'm talking about the knowledge that is needed for African-American children. Now, Dr. Robinson gives her 2 books every month, but we understand that the history of African-Americans go back eons of time, and we are not really moving forward with the idea of really trying to bring in the curriculum that is necessary in order for us to relieve our children of this burden. You know, here lately, our mayor of the city of West Palm Beach proclaimed that our children are terrorists now. And all of that activity, I know it spawned from the miseducation deficit model that our children are receiving early on, because they always say if you're not ready for life by 3rd grade, then you're ready for a prison cell. And we all understand this kind of stuff, and as it goes on. And I just received an award from the school district for 25 years of donating my time, trying to assist you in this kind of effort. It's just my hopes that possibly next year, coming up, maybe we might be able to get some kind of way to determine whether or not this information is being transferred properly, because I don't see our principals engaged, I don't see our assistant principals, none of our teachers, and I know that that knowledge is not just going to be abracadabra, it's going to have to be transferred by somebody that have a sincere desire to see all children excel. And African-American children are still, I know you improved your graduation, but when you look at the reality of what is taking place with African-American children and the seriousness of the time, and I understand the degree of difficulty it is in order to do such a thing, because I don't know what all grade levels and all subject matters, the improvements that is needed, but I know that we have the people in place, supposedly, as we just assembled some more on this team. I'm hoping that you would take a sincere look at what is needed for African-American children and the African and African-American curriculum. And when we did the diaspora this year, but I want to remind you that the Florida law says African and African-American is very specific. And when you go into that statute, go to the H, and it'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about and how possibly we might be able to get others in the state of Florida and in the United States to start really taking a different attitude and approach to really changing their culture and their value as it relates to African-American children. This is not something that we're just talking about. And I wanted to say that we're opening up the hospital, and Dr. Barbereri got an opportunity to see some of the necessary tools that goes into this operation. It's not just some simple books. The destruction of black civilization, we got a whole host of medicine inside of the hospital, and I wish all of you would come by and take a look at some of it and probably receive some of it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Gary Minton and Lowell Levine.
Good evening. Over the last few months, me and Mr. Reeves have met with each and every one of the board members, plus the superintendent, plus Ms. Paul. The board members were quite open and cordial in all the meetings. Many of the problems we brought up you agreed with and you'd heard before. On the other hand, the other 2 meetings with the superintendent and Ms. Paul didn't go quite so well. They disagreed that they couldn't hire anybody. You just can't find millennials that want to work. Now, anybody in the workforce is, say, between 38 and 43, you're one of those people that don't want to work. So just keep that in mind. I disagree that you can't hire them. Ms. Andrews just had a graduation at West Tech of 70 people in the trades, and we have 60 openings. Did anyone from the district go to any of those people and say, hey, you want a job? I don't think they did. You also have North Tech. You also have South Tech. You also have other schools in the district, in the county, that teach maintenance, teach the trades. Have we approached any of those schools to see if we can get any help? Now, I understand you have a workshop in September. Now, from the current problems I heard out west in the high school that Ms. Paul's going to send a crew out. I don't know how you're going to do that when there's over 200 schools, there's less than 200 employees. How are you going to send, or where are you going to get these people unless you're going to contract that out too? And when asked, why can't you fill the positions? The money that's coming in is all earmarked for special jobs. There's nothing I can do. You have currently 60 positions that's already budgeted. If you can't find a job, somebody wants it, hire a company to go find those people. Take the stress out of your life, because I know you're so wound up about not hiring maintenance personnel. You've been that way for 20 years. You might as well keep it going. But you got to change the rhetoric going on here. We have to find personnel, people that want to work. My dad said, can't, never could, son. So you got to have a positive attitude. If you don't look for somebody, guess what? You're not going to find them. You have to put some effort in what you're doing. And if you're not putting effort in, you need to be replaced. It's hard, and I'll be the second or third one tonight to complain, but that's just the way life is here in the district. You got to respect your employees, and you got to hire people to fill the positions to get your schools in a safe, orderly, well-maintained area. If the contracts are coming up like they are, you need to have building mechanics at all of your high schools, all your middle schools. That will alleviate most of your problems, and you need to set a salary level to fill those positions with qualified people. Simple fix. Thank you. Have a great evening. As always, it's a pleasure to see each and every one of you.
Thank you. Mr. Levine, after conferring with our general counsel, I want to read a statement to you before you begin. The board and numerous district officials have cautioned you many times about the danger of disclosing confidential student information. Unfortunately, time and time again, you continue to disregard our students' privacy rights by publicly sharing confidential medical records or including your personal opinion about a student's risk of suicide in your communications, and sharing this extremely sensitive personal information with other government agencies and many times with the media. This board will not sit by idly and condone your continued attempts to exploit some of our most vulnerable students for your personal glorification. We caution you once again to protect the confidentiality of our students' lives by not publicly sharing their medical information or their names. So if you'd like to begin, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. My name is Lowell Levine. I am the founder of the nationally known Stop Bullying Now Foundation, considered by the state of Florida and the federal government as one of the top in the country based on the number of children's lives that we have saved. I'm here tonight because I have gotten a rash of phone calls from parents, mostly in District 5, about teachers that are abusing students sexually and as far as hurting them. 40 cases, they claim, has been brought up over the last couple of years. I don't know if these teachers are still here or they have been dismissed from the school district. We're checking it out. There have been some teachers that had felony charges against them, but it has been changed to misdemeanor to get them a job here in the school system. Checking it out. In the last month, the state of Florida have told me that 4 teachers have been brought up on disciplinary charges in the last 30 days in the Palm Beach County School District. These parents who are calling me are frustrated because nothing is being done. They've been complaining, and then they refer to me. Some of them refer to me from referrals of parents that I've helped. Others have been referred to me by politically elected officials. We have Verde Elementary School. We have a 6-year-old child that has special needs. She's not getting any satisfaction from the school. The parents are not getting any satisfaction at school, and another student says, "I'm going to kill you." With those words, still nothing is being done. I don't know what to tell you. All I can tell you is that child comes home from school or doesn't go to school crying. I have another student at Spanish River High School who's had a concussion, been bullied for a year, trying to get him transferred to Boca High School. But unfortunately, we're being told that the school is busy, overcrowded, can't put him in that school even though it's walking distance. My research has shown there are some students in that school system, in that school, that don't even live in the district, but the coaches of the sports team wants them there, and they are able to attend that school. This child is, unfortunately, in serious trouble. I can go on and on and on. But what I want to tell you today is I'm putting you all on alert. I have the connections with Washington, D.C. I got connections with Tallahassee. If there is a child that's being badly bullied, harassed, discriminated against by anybody, and I'm involved in it, and I'm writing you emails, and I'm writing you emails, and I'm writing you emails, and if that child is not being satisfied as far as taking care of him, transferring him, or doing whatever can be done, and that child commits suicide or is killed, I will make sure that each and every one of you are going to be brought up on criminal charges, just like I did in Tennessee, just like I did in North Dakota, just like I did in Texas. I don't play games. I am here to save the life of a child and reject the rejection of the lifetime destruction of the family. Thank you.
Mr. Dowling and Mr. Tooman. Mr. Tooman is not here. Yes.
Good evening, school board I'm sorry, should I start or?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. I have a handout. Good evening, school board members. I'm Mike Dowling. I'm a 27-year veteran classroom teacher. I have a concern, but first I want to thank the board and Dr. Fenoy. It wasn't very long ago that I was one of many teachers to come up and speak to you about the mandated PLC meetings. Well, this year has been great. In fact, during preschool this year, I wasn't forced to attend any mass meetings, so I was able to read my students' IEPs carefully and call every parent of an ESE student before the first day of school. In addition to the raise, I felt more respected by the district than ever before in my career. You respected our time. Thank you all. Compared with the past, my concern tonight is small but still important. I hope you're looking at a sample midterm progress report. These important documents give parents an early notification of how their child is doing in each of their classes. They can see academic progress in each class and patterns across all of the classes. I tell my students that the progress report is metaphorically written in pencil. There's plenty of time to correct any issues before the final report card is written in unerasable Sharpie pen. But these past 2 years, midterm progress reports have been missing conduct grades. This important early notification system is important for parents and students. We've been asking for this to be corrected for more than a year, but we've been told that the SIS department is busy with other projects. Now, there's no rush. If they dropped everything and made the correction tomorrow morning, nobody would see the results until next September. This doesn't have to be corrected immediately, but it should get done sometime soon. It shouldn't be too hard. Both Indian River and Leon counties use the same software from Focus in St. Petersburg. Indian River has midterm conduct grades, so it can't be a limitation in the software. I haven't been able to reach anyone from Tallahassee yet, but I'm working to see if Leon County provides for midterm progress reports. Board members, I urge you to make this a priority for our district. Not an immediate priority. I'm just asking that midterm conduct grades get on the eventual agenda. September is 3 months away. It's an easy and inexpensive way to give parents an early warning about both their child's grades and their conduct. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Tooman, and I'm a taxpayer to this board, as well as the Village of Wellington. My village council has discussed the possibility of spending between $10 and $20 million to build a swimming pool and ball fields on your Wellington Community High School with the interlocal agreement. My first thought was, Wellington already has numerous ball fields, and we have one of the few competitive swimming pools in the county. The public, during 3 meetings, spoke to keep the pool. Then I asked myself, are we paying twice for public education and amenities? Really, Wellington is paying 3 times, because Wellington is giving this board $500,000 a year for the past many years. Not to mention the added increase in sales tax and property tax. We are paying a lot in many different ways to this board, not to mention the numerous grants and foundations that I heard today. And why is the municipality improving school board's property with limited access and security issues? But later I thought, what about those municipalities who may not be able to milk their taxpayers for the money. As a past commissioner of North Lauderdale and Broward County, including a board member of the nation's first City-run charter high school, I understand funding and taxation. And this looks like free money. But if one of our 39 municipalities is unable to raise the funds for these amenities, I guess the students are out of luck. If some schools have and some schools have not, isn't that discrimination? Thank you.
Thank you. Is Terry McIntyre here? All right. And I understand Mr. Pearson left. So we'll go back to agenda speakers. Mr. Pearson?